Hello YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community, Gandalf here. We're on day 6 of the event, and we finished Cheerful Flip. I don't know if the players that are starting out on a new server just yesterday, if you actually get to finish this event, but if you do get to finish this event, that's awesome. You get to pick one of these limited hero here. I know a lot of players are wondering, which one do I pick? Do I pick, Lydia and Santa, because Gandalf, you did a video called the Limited Hero Tier List, and there the top two hero I always recommend new players is Lydia or Santa. And there's a very good reason for that, right? And I think over time again I showed you that. And dungeon farming is pretty much what every player needs to focus on early to mid game, even into late game, unless you're a big kraken and you're just simply buying out all of the devouring sets you could possibly need and all the penetration set and other sets you possibly need. We look at low clear reference, not fast clear. And what do we see, right? For every single, even if we go to lower stages, right? 35, what do we see? 35, right? Not 40. Majority of the team, we have two common heroes in here. And they're going to be Lydia and they're going to be Santa. There are very good reasons for that. Santa at exclusive 1 allows you to have slowdown 2 times, like level 2 slowdown on the enemy, level 2 speed up on your own hero. Right? This effectively allows you to take twice the number of turns as before at the same speed. Just simply multiply by 1.4 times 1.4, you get 1.96, which is approximately 2 times the speed, right? So that's how turn meter works. And that will allow you to basically double your DPS, take twice the number of turns, cycle over your cooldowns with a lot. So this is such an important exclusive for Santa. At exclusive 2 allows you to turn this into AO heal and furthermore have your freeze basically on cooldown a lot more often, which makes your wave transitions a lot safer. Lydia, on the other hand, the key exclusive you want is exclusive 2. So exclusive 2 is the key breaking point for Lydia, where you basically now can either increase your basic attack damage and skill damage by 30% or reduce it by 30%. But the most important part is reduce ally cooldowns by 1 every time she triggers her pursuit attack, and basically that requires a total of 8 skills or 8 turns taken by your 8 skill casted 8 times by any of your allies. And effectively what that means is for most teams, that means all of your heroes basically have 1 cooldown less. So for a 3-turn cooldown, that becomes like a 2-turn cooldown. Lydia herself basically will be just spamming this skill and this skill all the time. Your Nordak, imagine Holy Shelter now on a 3-turn cooldown. That would be insane because literally you have near perfect coverage. You have your Nordak about 50% faster than the rest of your entire team. So for example, Nordak, you get Nordak to, I don't know, 2400. Rest of your team say they're at 1600. Lydia is really fast. The only times they're not going to have this buff up, the only hero is probably going to be Lydia, who's in transition. And Nordak will basically, always put the shield up. There might be one turn where he doesn't have this on. So that's insane, right? In terms of if you think about coverage, having all of your cooldowns basically being 1 turn less. That's why you see Lydia, Santa, and Nordak being the core of so many PvE teams because of that. If you're completely free to play, you can probably get way more value by finishing your Santa to E2 or even E3 before you start considering grabbing your Lydia. I talked about this in my my new playthrough journey, and I said, I picked Lydia first just because I was like, well, Santa could be bought in the rainbow chest, right? So the rainbow chest is over here. When you are 21 days in, 51 days in, you will definitely get enough to be able to pick up 2 of these chests. so you can get your Santa to E1 that way. So when I bought my I guess the beginner wish one, I picked Lydia instead. And now in hindsight, I'm like, what do I want to tell all of you new players, right? I would say if you're completely free to play, go for Santa, because it will be a while before you get to Lydia E2. There's no other way of getting it except to wait for a rerun, or buy it through chest, and that would might not be a feasible option for you. So I would say work on getting that Santa first, and that will help you with progression far more. Like even right now, I'm farming away and I'm not using Lydia in my team. I'm only just using the Santa. Now, what about the other heroes, and what are the situations where you pick something different? So kind of already said, I'm gonna pick Lydia. Okay, just for the record, I'm gonna pick Lydia on mine. My Santa, I'm gonna wait until I get the rainbow chest to finish Santa, to get Santa E3. But I'm gonna pick Lydia here, and hopefully in the near future I'll pick up another copy of Lydia to have that E2. When should you pick something else? Well, Paulin is, if you're super into PvP, you didn't get a Paulin recently, and you're tired of getting frozen all the time or getting CC'd, sure, pick a Paulin. But really, I don't think that's very impactful for your account. Little Jack, the big exclusive or exclusive 1 and 2. 1 allow you to take an extra 40% attack off of the enemy attack. So this works really well if you have a Mamook. That's the only time I would suggest it. Or, you feel like survivability is not an issue at all, you can bring, another DPS, and you can, go for E2 where you can pass mastery on to other heroes, or even go for E3 early on, make him a very solid DPS on his own. Very few people, unless you have other things finished and you want to pick Little Jack, that's the option. Esther, again, is also a very unique situation. Esther is really only good once you get to E3. Before that, it's just not viable and easy to use. So it's either E3 or go home for her. So unless you're already at E2, which I don't think many of you are at, or if you've been playing around, you probably already have it. Henge is the odd one here. Henge, in theory, could work in PvP a lot, but that's kind of like the only place that you will use her. And then the other one's Faction Abyss. She has a little bit of daylight, maybe in Northern Coast. Like, she's just a hero that, it's not as well-rounded as Lydia and Santa for all intensive purposes. The third one in this list, so after I recommend Lydia, then Santa probably first pick for most people, or Lydia if you know you're gonna be a light spender. If you're a relatively big spender, you don't have any of these, I would actually then prefer and recommend going with Big Jack or Jack and Roll. The main reason to go with Jack and Roll is, one, we're much more likely to see reruns. First of all, we're gonna see a rerun of Jack and Roll in 2 weeks. If you already saved up a lot of summons like myself here, you are guaranteed, from this amount, you're definitely guaranteed at least 1. Maybe if you're lucky, you can get 2. And getting exclusive on Jack and Roll will be really helpful. His first, it's going to help with your burn team and allows your main DPS to cycle a lot of turns. So, for example, if you picked up Murong and you got your Murong like at E3, which again probably is a small amount of you, but if you need there's a hero that really synergizes from taking a lot of turn themselves, and there are a few of them, right? Like, for example, if you have a DMU and you have Big Jack, the two of them actually synergize really well together. You have Big Jack to go right after DMU, so DMU can really cycle her skills, so that every single turn you could have Indra up and basically be hitting full lightning roar, full to consume all of those tokens to do max damage. But even in that setup, you probably still should have Lydia E2 first on your team before you try that, because just the turn cycling and the turn reduction overall, it's far much better when you use Lydia as opposed to Jack and Roll. Jack and Roll early on, highly recommend, really only use it for PvP, because the key advantage of him is that his turn meter can be reduced, right? So So when you look at him, like the key thing you see right away is, he's immune to freeze. He can't be turn meter reduced, which is great. But also in PVE, you can't increase his turn meter as well. So that creates a little bit of problem and lack of synergy there, right? Inherently, he reduces the effectiveness of shields. He reduces their healing effect, which makes him really good for Gwyneth. But the overall, I mean, he's going to also increase damage of the entire team, right? So from a damaging boosting perspective, yes, Jack and Roll is going to be more damage boosting than Lydia, but Lydia has way more synergy with your team collectively as a whole. I would only pick Jack and Roll if you are probably on a bigger spender side of things, because you can quickly finish that big Jack because the event is coming. And then, you can pick up Lydia through chess or through other things very quickly as well. I would say, out of all these three heroes, Jack and Roll probably at E0 could actually be the most usable. Like Lydia at E1 pretty much, sorry, at E0, there's so little use for Lydia except maybe to race someone in a speed race in PvP. Like you use your first skill to attack the enemy space, and then you take first turn. But really, that is such a niche use that you will never really use it. Lydia is the odd situation where you really have to go to E2 to see value. Big Jack, you can see value at E0 right away. E1, you get a revive. E2, you do joint attack. And E3, you can put the spotlight on multiple heroes. And that's the key one. So hopefully this helps everyone with their selection. And a last thing I'll say is 2 players already reached out to claim their giveaway. You haven't seen my giveaway video and the draws, please go check out, see if you won. I'm looking for a friend from Norway, I believe, who has spent I think on September 3rd. If you're from Norway, please check your Aptoid and check that video and see if you have the transaction ID. You just won $100 there. And someone by the name of Shoutier, who is a subscriber and commenter on one of my videos, I did message you. I did reply to one of your comments. You won the free to play or the community draw for $25. The other prizes have all been claimed and validated already. I will be uploading video probably sometime next week, where I'll do a quick brief interview of the lucky winners. Asking them how long they play the game, what do they like about it, and what they could change one thing about the game if they wish to change something simple like that. So you can see the happy reaction from these lucky people who has won these rewards. It's been a great anniversary so far. Really enjoy the interaction with the community, and really glad to be able to help some of the players out by just giving away some money, free money, to help them buy pack and enjoy the game some more. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Gandalf out.